Do you remember the smell of a fresh printed photo? Do you remember your first Game Boy, Tamagotchi, or Sega? What do you feel when you stumble on the pictures of aged actors of Friends? You know that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you think about the good old days. It's not just about sentimentality, it's nostalgia. Today you'll find out what triggers nostalgia, why the 90s hold a special place in our hearts, can nostalgia have negative consequences, and can you feel nostalgic for something you never had? It was a time of cultural explosion. Your first car, time-traveling machine. You cannot feel nostalgic all of a sudden. If nostalgia has you nuts, this is why nostalgia can make us feel so good. Hi, I'm Philippe. Picture this. You are sifting through old photos and suddenly you're hit with a wave of emotion. Printed old photos or digital ones. Don't matter. Take a look at these videos. Nickelodeon. Do you remember yourself watching Nickelodeon after school? Or playing Super Mario? What about the supernatural Kool-Aid?
Kids love my super fruity flavors.
Did you have Super Soaker?
There's the Super Soaker 100. It has a powerful air pressure system.
Oh, Buffy!
If you were born in the late 90s, this Motorola Razr V3,
Hello, Moto.
intro of Hannah Montana, and this logo would definitely bring a smile to your face. Imagine your brain as a time-traveling machine. Nostalgia is like the TARDIS of emotions. It takes us back in time, evoking memories of days gone by and igniting a sense of warmth and longing for the past. At its core, nostalgia is a form of memory, but it's not just any memory. It's a type of emotional memory that combines positive feelings with a longing for a time that has passed. Research has shown that when we experience nostalgia, our brain's reward centers are activated, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine. This is why nostalgia can make us feel so good, even if the memories being evoked weren't entirely perfect. Our brain has this nifty filter system that sorts through memories, keeping the positive ones and gently discarding the less than great ones. This selective memory process makes ordinary events feel extraordinary when revisited. You cannot feel nostalgic all of a sudden. Something should trigger it. Nostalgic triggers often have strong emotional associations. When we experience nostalgia, our brain not only recalls specific events or experiences, but also the emotions we felt during those moments. Nostalgia can serve as a form of emotional regulation. When we encounter triggers of nostalgia, it often leads to feelings of comfort, safety, and temporary escape from the stresses of the present. But why do we feel particularly nostalgic about the 90s? Because the 90s have many triggers. It was a time of cultural explosion, with significant shifts in music. Television. Iconic moments.
Finally, it all comes down to this, the Best Picture. And the Oscar goes to Titanic.
Genres and personalities emerged during this period, leaving an indelible mark on pop culture. The 90s was a time of simpler social interaction. People often reminisce about gathering with friends to watch TV shows, listening to music on physical media like cassette tapes and CDs, and spending time together without the constant digital distractions that exist today. The nostalgia for these face-to-face interactions and the warmth of those memories contributes to the allure of the 90s. First episodes of Simpsons, your first bike ride, the opening chords of Bohemian Rhapsody, your first car, watching Seinfeld with the whole family. Family. If you lost your closest ones, nostalgia sends us to the time when they were still alive, and this is also a part of nostalgia. Looking back can also feel lonely, anxious, and depressing. People who are confronted with a particularly difficult change in their lives are likely to focus on the sadness of yearning for the loss, a death of a loved one,
I'll never let go. I promise.
forced relocation, a divorce or separation, or a career change can all result in a period of ruminating about the past. In such situations, a person might find it difficult to adapt to the change and move forward. If nostalgia has you nuts, you're not alone, and in fact, you're closer to the original definition of feeling nostalgic. The word is defined as a sentimental longing or wistful, a reflection for a period in the past. So the longing or wishing to be back there when you know you can't be is totally understandable. Back in 1688, nostalgia was defined as a mental illness and was essentially described as a severe case of homesickness. So if all this feels as familiar to you as a memory from your childhood, the good news is there are benefits to carrying so much. People who tend to be more nostalgic also tend to have healthy ways of coping with stress and the problems life can pose. More nostalgic people value their relationships and therefore tend to be more socially connected. One more thing about nostalgia, that you can feel it even for something you never had. For example, you might feel nostalgic for a specific era, such as the 60s, even if you weren't born during that time. You might have a strong affinity for the music, fashion, or cultural aspects for that era, leading to a sense of nostalgia. Similarly, you could feel nostalgic even for a fictional world, like the universe of a book, movie, or video game, even if you've never physically lived in that world. Nostalgia often involves a romanticized view of the past, and this can extend to things you never personally experienced. Nostalgia tends to follow a 20-30 year cycle, meaning that what was popular or influential in the 90s is now experiencing a resurgence of interest. Gen Z grew up in an era where the internet became an integral part of daily life. They will be nostalgic for memes, the first album of Dua Lipa, iPhone 10, Zoom classes during the COVID, TikTok, and current fashion trends.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Nostalgia unlocks doors to our past, revealing cherished memories and emotions. Whether it's a familiar scent, a visual cue, or the touch of a familiar object, it connects us with the people, places, and experiences that have shaped our lives. What do you most often feel nostalgic about? Share your sentimental thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more, and always discover something new with me.